Welcome back to This Is Why We Watch Movies. I'm Brian.
And I'm Landon.
And today we're going to be talking to you about movies.
That's true.
So this week is Thanksgiving, so we're actually recording a bit sooner than we normally would, but of course, this is not going out to you until, I think, actually on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, enjoy your turkey or whatever you eat.
Enjoy your family. Hopefully you're thankful for them. If you're not, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not really our problem.
Nope.
All right. Today we're going to be reviewing the latest film by, can we still call him an esteemed director?
Yeah.
Esteemed director Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And that film is Gladiator.
Yep. Gladiator, yeah.
Gladiator II.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get that description?
Yeah, of course. So Gladiator II is directed by Ridley Scott. And the synopsis... Esteemed director.
Yes.
And the synopsis is as follows. After his home is conquered by tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum and must look past his past to find the strength to return the glory of Rome to its people.
So from the get-go, I have problems with that synopsis.
Yeah.
Because I think it spoils what's supposed to be one of the main, plot twists in the film.
They tell us 15 minutes in.
15, 20, something like that. Yeah, but the point is, it's supposed to be this is the hook. And they told us that in the description?
Yeah. That didn't bother me.
It bothers me.
I think the movie has enough problems to where that doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, we'll get to those. Yeah. But I am curious, as always, what is your first pro?
I think scale-wise, it's there. I think that it doesn't feel smaller than the first film. I have a lot more problems with this one, but scale is not the issue.
Yeah, no, that I would say that's fair. My first pro.
I think this pro section is going to be kind of quick.
It's going to be so small. It's
Yeah.
Den freaking Zell.
Yeah.
We need Denzel Washington to do more roles like this. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed him just being a kooky villain. Because he's such a serious actor when you look at his filmography. I think of Fences. I think of
Training Day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name of the movie, and it's the Man on Fire. It's stuff like that,
yeah.
right?
Stuff with Tony Scott.
The Equalizer, right? That's Denzel movies. This is not a Denzel movie. This is first of all, why are you here? But also, thank you for being here.
Exactly.
It's like when you see a friend at the party that you didn't think would be there, but you're so happy that he was there.
Absolutely, yeah. I have that as my second pro, which is the only other one that I have. I think he is the standout by far. Yeah. I wrote this down because it's he reminds you how important star power is, because it's not only his acting ability, but just his ability to draw you in. Mm-hmm. And it's that is rare thing nowadays, honestly.
It's interesting that we've had two films back to back here that have to do with star power in that regard, because someone's hair is right here and it's not mine.
That's this whole library.
That's the entire library. There's just hair. But George Clooney has that star power, and why the beginning of Wolves worked so well is because he was in it, and that's partially why this movie does seem to be pretty good for a good portion of it.
Yeah.
It's because you have Denzel. It's okay, I get it. I have some issues with his portrayal, but I think I'm going to wait till we come back to
That's fine, yeah. Go on.
cons. The only other pro I have is that the couple of fights that Pedro Pascal was part of, very good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
which also leads into a con of the movie.
Don't get me started. But yes, because I think we have the same pro and con. It's not necessarily just the ones with Pedro Pascal. I just think that the more grounded, one-on-one fights really work for me.
And those were the ones with Pedro Pascal.
Well, there was a few more. The first one where he fights the guy when he gets there fist to fist. The guy in the throne room.
Okay, yeah.
Those work really well for me. Anytime it's a one-on-one fight scene, it's great. We'll get into the other stuff later.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm past my pros, I'm going to circle back. I think that Denzel's character arc is kind of a negative. He's played off very similar to Killmonger. In fact, I think if they had gone the Killmonger route, basically it's this. I'm going to talk spoilers real quick.
Spoilers is fine.
No one cares. It's Gladiator. So Denzel's character is a former slave who his plan is to take down the Empire. It's very similar to Killmonger trying to break back into Wakanda. It's the same kind of arc. But I think the issue here is that he's never portrayed as being sympathetic, and you can't really connect with him. And so as a villain, he's very cartoony in that regard because he's just Denzel being weird. And that's fine, but there's no grounding on that. And I don't know. The thing about Killmonger is that he does bad things, but he's never made out to be with bad intention. And I don't know this character's name. It's just Denzel. But in this film, he has bad intention. So,
I mean, I think it leads kind of into a lot of my cons. Is a lot of the characterization in this is very what's there. There's nothing beneath the surface on anyone.
All surface level. And sorry about that, guys.
But hold on, I will say this because I do have this kind of as a pro. It's yes, Denzel is the standout, but I also think that Pedro Pascal was very good, and Connie Nielsen returning. I think all three of those did a really good job with what they were given. I just think that what they were given was lackluster, to say the least.
Lackluster. I'm going to try and get this cable up here so that I stop bumping into it. Sorry that's making a weird sound, guys. I think it's a lost cause. Never mind. Okay. Well, whatever. So I agree with all of that. And I think Pedro Pascal is a great example of someone who is in this film, is a fantastic actor. We've seen it time and time again. And he has absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah. He's
the same. Just there.
And we'll talk about this in a minute too, because it's part of my thing. But I think Paul Mescal's the same way.
Yes. And then Pedro Pascal dies.
Yeah.
Not even it's probably halfway through the film. It's not towards the third act.
It's 90 minutes in.
Oh, so I guess that is the start of the third act.
It's the beginning. It's the end of the second act, yeah.
I don't care. I need more Pedro Pascal in my life.
I agree.
I need our favorite internet zaddy.
That's true.
And this movie did not give him to me.
That's 100% accurate, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop on cons. What do you have?
How many cons have you given? Because you have more cons than I do.
Well, both of my cons were just Denzel and Pedro, and that was actually the shadow side of my pros. Okay, I haven't actually gotten into my cons yet.
Perfect. I said this last week, but I think this movie suffers from a lot of the same stuff that his recent films have suffered from, whether that's House of Gucci, Napoleon, and it's they're all tonally weird.
Yeah.
He's not balancing tone at all. He has these moments of weird and bizarre, in the Denzel stuff. And then he goes back to this gritty and serious, and there's no blending of that at all.
It's what are you trying to make, Ridley Scott? Can you just write us and tell us?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure what the plan is, but that's been my problem with his last 3-4 films. The last thing of his I liked was The Last Duel. I think that one was actually pretty good. That was written by Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, no, I agree that The Last Duel is the last good movie that he's directed. I'd say the last good movie he produced was Alien Romulus. That wasn't bad, but he didn't direct it.
Correct.
That was Fetty.
Yeah.
So,
who is incredible. I love his work.
So I wrote down most everything else, but if we're going to start with the con, what about the CGI monkeys?
Oh.
And this isn't just the monkeys.
No.
There's a lot of animals in this movie, and they are all animated.
Yeah.
Egregiously animated. And it really, for me, it just took me out of the immersion. It's I think I laughed so much in this movie because it's ironically bad. And it's not trying to be.
I didn't necessarily care that they were CGI. I don't I don't have that it doesn't irritate me as much as it does you, because at the end of the day, I understand that everything's going to have CGI to a certain extent.
Well, they were monkey leopard hybrids.
Yeah, they were weird looking, but that necessarily didn't take me out of it. I just think that the fight scenes themselves were tedious and kind of boring.
Yeah.
That one, and then the one with the sharks.
The one with the rhino.
The one with the rhino. All of them, unnecessary.
Yeah.
We could cut the runtime down by 30 minutes if you just cut the weird fights out that you decided to do.
The fight with the rhino was almost straight up lifted out of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, a little bit actually.
Come on, bro. He just did the exact same thing. I expected for Denzel to be oh, it looks like Paul Mescal's on top of things.
Right, yeah. But again, yeah, I don't have the problem with the CG like you do, but I have problems with the scenes themselves.
Right. And I think for me, I'm not saying, wow, we shouldn't have CGI. in a film like this.
No.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna use it, make it invisible, or do it in a way that like it's not going to like ruin the effect of it being gritty. Which, to be fair, at the point that you're fighting a monkey hybrid in an arena, you have lost reality.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
So,
But that, again, if you think that Ridley Scott cares about reality, you are sorely mistaken.
yeah, no, he doesn't care.
It's kind of what I've expected going into his stuff recently. Again, I will continue to give him the benefit of the doubt because he did make a lot of great things. It's just, it seems to be 1 out of every 5 or 6 now that hit for me.
Yes.
Which is kind of like, you know, for every Gladiator, you have a Robin Hood. For every Martian, you've got House of Gucci.
For every Blade Runner, you have a Thelma and Louise.
Oh. I'm just gonna drop kick him in a minute because that's the crazy thing you said. That's insane.
Oh, there's more unhinged things to come.
Oh Lord. You go ahead. What you got?
It's just not grounded at all. It feels fake. We've been saying that. And it's not just a fake visual style. Rome feels fake to an extent, the costumes.
I will give them this, though. I think the Colosseum looks good, but they built that.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. This kind of goes on to it as well. The fights really don't hold any emotional weight in the story, with the exception of the one between Mescal and Pascal. And that's a very brief moment in the film. Yeah, it's like when I think back to Gladiator 1, all of the fights have some kind of like meaning or like the gravitas of what Maximus is facing. And in this, it's just not there. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you have to go fight someone else again. And it's like he gets to the Colosseum so fast. There's a buildup that happens in the original Gladiator. And in this, it's like, what, the second or third fight?
Yeah.
It's very early on in the film. So, I don't know. I feel like the magic of getting to the Colosseum is just gone when you get there so quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's probably part of it, but also I think that Ridley was interested in this other political story. It seemed to be more than Lucius's story itself, because I don't.
The dream of Rome.
Yeah, the dream of Rome, which like okay, whatever, but I think you're missing a lot of the in between stuff that I think makes like Maximus work.
Right. Part of what makes Maximus work is the revenge story. And then also like him being betrayed. I don't think that there's really a betrayal. There's just revenge in Lucius's story.
Yep.
They tried to shoehorn in betrayal in a very weird way. Any rational person will look at it and be like, that's not really what happened. And in the end, it's like his motivations, I'm just not really sure why he's fighting.
Yeah,
I mean, other than he's a gladiator, like that makes sense to me. I just mean emotionally, why is he fighting?
Right. Well, I think that the biggest con of this movie, and this is the one that I put last because I think this is the one I want to hammer home the most, is you have an actor like Paul Mescal who is a very, very good actor, Oscar nominated. Like he knows what he's doing.
This is the only thing I've seen him in.
But which is crazy. But yeah. But you did nothing to distinguish him from Maximus at all. Like he has, for me, there's nothing there that I go, oh, this is like, you know, Lucius is taking this and like making it his own. There's nothing for me.
He's a Mary Sue.
I wouldn't call it that. I hate that. I hate that word.
That was a joke.
Like,
I'm not serious.
But yeah, it's like he's just there to be basically a Maximus stand-in, and I don't ever feel like he goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
I don't know. I think that a lot of the issues with this movie would be qualmed if it was not so closely connected character-wise to Gladiator. If it was just another Gladiator movie that was like a spinoff, I don't think I'd really care. A lot of my issues with this come from the fact that it is a sequel.
Sure.
And that the story just kind of is a mess. Like, because like you said, there's the political stuff going on with like the senators wanting to retake Rome from the twin emperors who have gone insane.
Yep.
You have Denzel trying to take back over from like being a slave. So he's out there killmongering everyone. And then you have this weird story going on with Lucius where it's like he's not actually the son that he thought he was. He's actually the grandson of Marcus Aurelius, the son of Maximus. And,
Well, he knows that.
well, that we thought he was in the last film.
Oh, yes, I know what you're saying.
Like, it was implied in the last movie, but it was just like, oh, I wonder. And in this one, they confirmed it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's kind of a retcon.
He knows who his grandfather is.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, the Maximus lineage,
Okay.
that was not a thing in the first movie.
I mean, it was definitely hinted at, though.
Exactly, but a hint is different than, like...
I wouldn't say it's a retcon. I'd say it's just like a confirmation of the theory that's been going around for years.
Like, for example, I'm going to dial back, because this is not on my notes. You have Blade Runner, where Harrison Ford is inherently, like... and that's the wrong word. He was always saying, Deckard is a human. You have Ridley Scott, Deckard is a replicant. And then when Denis did Blade Runner 2049, they never answered the question. And I think that, like, it would be nice, to me at least, if, like, we're not actually sure if he's Maximus's son. Like, I don't know.
I think that
I think it's an irrelevant question.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
And that's why it does nothing
With
to the
Blade
story.
Runner, there's a relevance to that, and I think that part of the reason that Blade Runner is so interesting is because there is that, like, kind of mystery of that.
Sure.
With Gladiator, I don't have that. I'm here to watch Gladiator.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't care about, like, most everything else, but, which
Yeah.
is why I think I give this, like, the way it sounds like I'm, giving this a bottom score. I'm just mediocre on it, which is frustrating because I really wanted to love this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it undermines. It doesn't undermine. It just retreads so much of the first movie.
Yeah.
In terms of the dream of Rome.
Yeah, it's like, well, this time, and the dream of Rome in this is so, like, I have no idea what it is. In the first movie, it seems pretty clear.
Yeah, and this one, I'm like, is it anti-capitalism? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think it's more just like, it's a retread that I don't know that I'll ever need to rewatch. If I watch Gladiator, I'm not going to feel like the urge to go watch Gladiator 2.
No.
Which I think should have been the goal, is to, like, make people want to watch this after the first one, which some people will, but it's not for me.
Right, and I mean, that's a distinction that I would make between Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, and then Gladiator 2. Obviously, Ridley, I think, only produced 2049, but the point being, it's very hard to not watch both of those around the same time because it's like you feel compelled to continue the revisit. So I agree. This is not. It's not up to it.
I just had a realization.
What?
I'm wearing green.
Oh God. Landon's chest is in the space.
Yeah, it's in space. I'm fine with that.
That's
whatever.
fine. It's a slightly different shade of green. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I might be able to just paint you out
Yeah, maybe.
entirely. The whole episode's without him.
Yeah. No, I just had a realization. I was like, oh no, bad idea.
Next time. I could have grabbed the blue screen from right there. There's a blue screen literally right there.
That's fine.
Okay. Well,
We'll figure it out after. It's all good.
we'll fix it in post, right?
Yeah,
I
100%.
think just an entire episode where you have a space chest.
Hey, so if it happens, it happens,
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, I think that this movie sorely needed either to not be connected or to have Maximus in some capacity.
Okay.
And even if they Lion King'd it, bro. Like, he keeps saying a vision of the river Styx. Why is Russell Crowe not there? Like,
Well,
come
I
on.
think that there's a reason.
There's a reason, but I don't care. I just don't care.
I think you would care if you saw it.
Russell Crowe is a big man now. He's like me.
He's aged. That's the bigger.
You're not saying you wouldn't age in heaven?
Probably not.
It depends.
Depends on which heaven you believe in.
It does. But here's the thing. I think it would be fine. Even if it was a disembodied voice speaking to him from the clouds.
I don't. You know what? It also, to me, it would not save anything.
They could CGI de-age this man, and I wouldn't care. It wouldn't fix the movie. It would just have made me happy.
I didn't care. I liked the way that Maximus' story ended. Let him rest in peace.
Well, I choose to think he's not resting.
I think he is. But,
I've always wondered if he would get into like gladiator fights in heaven and maybe like he's fighting Jim Caviezel's version of Jesus.
that'd be funny.
It would be. Well, anyways, we can go on about this because I think, yeah, it's just like kind of a disappointing film, but we expected to be disappointed, I think,
Yeah.
going into it, especially after Napoleon. So,
Honestly, once I saw like the Variety review, which to me was the funniest thing, I think it was Variety, was the funniest thing. He's like, yeah, this film has visuals, it has sound. And I was like, please stop. Like, this is a professional critic and he can't find anything good to say.
it sort of looks
But
like
he gave it a
movie.
positive review. And I'm like, all right.
If you have fun, give it a positive review, right? That's the way to go. So with that in mind, what's your review?
I give it 3. I had it at 3.5, but the more I sit on it, the more I don't like it.
Same thing happened to me. I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd initially. It's at a 2 now.
Fair.
I just got more upset the more I thought about it. Because someone asked me if it was any good, and I started talking, and I was like, wait a second, I didn't even like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of what I've come to expect from Ridley now. It's just whatever.
It's like the most generic action movie, and it makes me mourn the golden age of Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah.
If there ever was a golden age. I would say Blade Runner and Alien and whatever came right after that. That 3-movie run, very good.
Again, he's somebody who does have an absolute banger every
6 years.
6 or 7 years, yeah.
We're coming up on time, man.
Yeah, we need another one.
We need another
please.
banger, especially before you die.
Okay, all right.
Bro's old.
He is old, yeah.
Anyways.
Been making films for a long time.
He has been. Speaking of films that have been around a long time, there's a film that's been around for, I forgot how long it's been around. Hold on. I'm doing math in my head. 47 years.
Okay.
And that film is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just like 2 random things to note on Star Wars, because I figured why not bring it up. There is a rumor circulating, and this hasn't been on any like reputable sites, but I haven't found the source. I did not look into it. But there is a rumor that Ahsoka is like preemptively, like that production is planning on being canceled after the 2nd season.
Oh, okay.
And so they're trying to wrap up the series instead of letting it get unfinished, essentially.
Okay. I could be wrong about this because I don't know. Was that not supposed to lead into a movie?
I was always certain it was going to, but now there's speculation on whether or not the movie is going to come out first. So
Okay.
it's a whole thing. I'm not really sure what the direction is, but the thing is, it's like the release dates are sliding around. But yes, they are supposed to appear in the film. And it might not be Ahsoka. It could just be Ezra based on how that ended.
True.
So-
That's also true. I really liked the first season of Ahsoka. I thought it was a good time. I think I had problems with it, but again, for the most part, fun.
Yeah.
So, Rebels season 5.
Rebel season 5, yeah. And I'm ready for season 6.
Yeah.
I think that like it makes sense to not like plan on future seasons of this because like people are aging. You can only do the same thing so many times. But
To be honest, I expected it to be because I thought it was going to be 2 seasons and it leads into a movie and then they were done.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I expected. So that's not really that surprising of news, but
that's why I was initially like, huh, yeah. But again, I think like this seems like it may have come from a rumor mill thing.
okay.
But they definitely have like reworked it around the film is what I was reading.
Okay.
So, anyways, next. This is from an interview with John Watts, but apparently in Skeleton Crew, the child characters all know about the Jedi, but they think about them in the same context that we would think of as fairy tale characters.
Okay.
And so the way that they're approaching it is kind of like, the Jedi, it's mythology, and then they end up meeting one. So I was curious your thoughts on like kind of not metastasizing is something that cancer does. Making it kind of in the meta where it's like, okay, within Star Wars, it's like lore almost.
I mean, I think that it's kind of there's been a lot of that in Star Wars, so it's not like it's something new.
There has been, but I don't think we've ever seen it on that like full on front, especially when there's like a character who, all the characters that have ever talked about, the Jedi legends, they've all become Jedi. So I think this might be the first time that we're seeing non-Force users.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. Like, I think it's a cool way to look at it because, yeah, in any, like, let's say this was the real world. At some point in time, if the Jedi don't seem to be around anymore, they're going to eventually become legends if they don't pop back up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me. And, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm still excited. Also, I will say, I'm realizing the weakness of this as I'm reading it. I wrote it down quickly, but it was mainly to lead into our next segment.
Okay.
Which is, I'm going to ask you if you're excited or not about a plethora of things.
Okay.
So these are all of the Marvel, DC, and Star Wars properties that are coming to our screens between now and August of 2025.
Okay.
So the first thing is Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it. Again, I think anytime we get new Star Wars, especially when it looks like they're doing something a little different, I'm always on board for it. So I'm excited to see what they do and see what direction they decide to go with and what John Watts decided to bring to the Star Wars universe. So I'm excited.
Did you know that the same day on Max, one of the first pieces of the DC universe is launching?
No.
It is a adult animation comedy called Creature Commandos, which is like, I think, a spinoff of Suicide Squad.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I will say I have been a fan of the James Gunn TV stuff so far. Peacemaker, I really enjoyed season 1. So if he is, involved in some way, I don't know who's, show running or anything, but I'm assuming he had some creative control. I'm excited. See what happens.
I didn't look and see who was show running, but he obviously is like the producer of the whole studio.
Yeah.
Has a hand in it. On December 20-something.
Also, one more thing. I think both of us have lived through a couple of like comic reboots, like universe reboots or, slightly readjusting of universes. So to me, I always get really excited when those things happen, even if I'm loving what they were doing before. So I'm excited to see like the takeoff, I guess.
I cried when
New 52 ended?
No, I was going to say when they had announced recently that Henry Cavill was coming back, and then they announced he wasn't.
Oh yeah,
I cried.
That was rough.
All right, December 20th.
We hope David Cornswet does a great job. So
we do. We'll get to that. December 20th. What If Season 3, Disney Plus.
No, I love season 1. I just didn't watch season 2, and I don't know that I'm going to be excited for season 3.
Season 2 was the continuation of the first season, so it was kind of weird, but it just kind of kept up with all the same plot arcs.
And it's not like I'm like, ugh, no. It's just more like, probably not going to catch up. And maybe at some point in time, I'll feel the urge to catch up on What If. Because again, I like the first season, but we'll see.
That is fair. All right, in mid-January, Spider-Man Freshman Year. This is a cartoon on Disney Plus that is a prequel to Spider-Man Homecoming.
I don't care.
That's fair.
Like, I'll watch it for sure. I'll give it a shot, but I'm not over the moon for it. I didn't even. Yeah, that's okay.
February, your Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the Marvel stuff recently I've been kind of lukewarm on. I think they've done some cool stuff. I really like Multiverse of Madness. I wasn't crazy about Quantumanium, but
I think that the last one that I really, 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 really liked was probably I liked Wakanda Forever quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the one that I loved, Love and Thunder. I know that it's not like a perfect movie, but it's a fun movie. And it's what I want.
I think, that's
what a nice
fine.
diversion.
I didn't like it nearly as much as Ragnarok, but
same. Ragnarok is darn near perfect.
Yeah, much better.
All right. And then in March, we get Daredevil Born Again.
Very excited. Very excited. Been waiting for season 4 for a long time. And I know technically I don't know what they're calling it, but to get the main characters back, I'm really excited.
It's called Daredevil Born Again Season 1.
Well, I'm saying I don't know whether they're calling it a reboot or a continuation. Reboot. Okay. But they're bringing back the characters that I love, and I'm very excited because I think Charlie Cox is really good as Daredevil.
Yeah. I agree, although I've not finished the original Daredevil show. I think I've only seen maybe half of the first season.
Really?
When it came out, it wasn't something I was particularly keen on, and I've just never revisited any of the Netflix Marvel stuff.
I liked Daredevil, and I liked the first season of Jessica Jones a lot because David Tennant was the villain, and they never could recapture that like magic, and they tried to like shoehorn him back in later seasons because they realized like, oh no, because he is so good. Like, I love David Tennant, and this might be one of my favorite performances of his. He is just plain evil. It's so good.
I see.
Luke Cage, also pretty good for the first season. Iron Fist, not so much, but I've watched them all, for better or worse. And don't get me started on, what were they, Defenders? That's what
the Defenders, yeah. I'm a fake fan. I've not seen any of it.
The Defenders was, the Defenders was just bad. I'd have no defense for that.
Well,
but if you love it, shout out, but not for me.
This is something I can tell you I'm definitely more excited for because you haven't finished it yet. But Andor Season 2, April 20th.
Yeah, which is weird that I just need to do it. And I know that I'm going to love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I just, for whatever reason, I'm not like just sat down and done it yet.
It's one of the best things that Tony Gilroy has done.
Okay. Okay.
It's a joke from last time.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's coming out. It was originally supposed to be a 5-season show.
When's it coming out?
April 20 something.
Okay.
You have plenty of time. But it got cut back because they were like, you can do this a bit quicker. But it was supposed to be like every year leading up to Rogue One. And then it got condensed. Anyhow. Also, this is in May. Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is Harrison Ford supposed to be in it?
I don't know. Is he? I know he's in Brave New World, but I don't know about this one.
I mean, he's Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what their plan was, and I haven't heard anything, but I haven't even watched the trailer, to be honest.
Neither have I.
I think Florence Pugh is great. I think her as Yelena is good too.
Sebastian Stan as Bucky is also fantastic.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about Sebastian Stan for a minute? Because I feel like this guy is very like underappreciated. Go look at what he's been doing recently. He's been doing some weird stuff, but he's always so good in it. And I feel like nobody really talks about him in that like light for whatever reason. Like A Different Man was really good this year, and nobody's talking about this movie.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Exactly. That's the problem. Like,
I was trying to think, what is that? And I was like, is that the one with that guy where he's playing that person?
Yeah, the one where he's playing that person. But so I highly recommend going to see that. I haven't seen The Apprentice yet, but I've heard that he's very good in it, regardless of how people feel about the movie. Which again, that one's going to be divisive, regardless of which way you go. But like, yeah, anytime I get to see Sebastian Stan, I know it's going to be at least something interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll go see it, and we'll probably see it day one. Yeah. But it's
typical
not
Marvel fans.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not the most excited as I could be for it, I think.
All right. Well, what about this next one? It's a TV show coming out in June of 2025, and it is a follow-up to Wakanda Forever called Ironheart.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite parts of Wakanda Forever.
It was fantastic, and yeah. I thought the show was canceled, but then I looked and behold, it's there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get excited for a TV show nowadays for whatever reason. I feel like
it's like a chore.
My attention span is just terrible.
But that's the thing, is that if you're going to give me a TV show, it needs to feel like a diversion and not like homework. That's why I'm never going to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, because I don't feel like watching, 10 seasons of TV, 11 seasons?
Breaking Bad's like 5.
How many are Better Call Saul?
I think it's 6, but
so it's 11 seasons of TV.
But if you watch Breaking Bad, you don't need to watch Better Call Saul.
It doesn't matter. It's 11 seasons of TV, and that sounds like a chore.
No, I think if it's good TV, it doesn't matter.
It's a chore. Anyway, in July, Superman.
No, I'm very excited. Yeah.
I think out of everything that I've listed on this list outside of Andor, That's probably the thing I'm most excited for.
Yeah, we will see that at first opportunity. If there's like an early screening or something, I'm sure we'll try to get on the, get a ticket to it and go.
When Wonder Woman came out in 2017, Warner Brothers was doing like fan screenings of stuff several months early.
Yeah.
And I got a ticket to see it, and I told my friend about it, and he got a group together, and then my mom wouldn't let me go because it was in Raleigh.
Oh, no.
And so I didn't get to see it. It was like 2 months early.
Oh.
Very sad. But, Wonder Woman was fun.
Yeah.
Not a great movie, but it's fun.
Also, it's like I'm excited to see what James Gunn does because it does seem like it's going to be different in ways than what he's done before in the comic book genre. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how he kicks it off with the films and maybe it'll get me more excited for the stuff coming after, which I'm already kind of excited for. So
the slate of everything after, it's going to be a while before there's another movie. I think it's like a year until Supergirl, which is the second film of the series.
Yeah.
We don't have much information on Supergirl yet.
No. Other than Millie Alcock is playing her.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't really know.
And that's okay. We'll find out in due time.
Yep.
The next film in this list that comes out is The Fantastic Four: First Steps, also in July.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. The cast is great.
Yeah. I thought that Paul Mescal was in this film until
No, it's
we
Joseph
were watching
Quinn.
Gladiator, and he was like, "Oh no, it's Joseph Quinn."
Yeah, it's like, look, it was the Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic together, and he was like, what?
See, I think that Paul Mescal should have been the Human Torch.
I think Joseph Quinn's really good too. I think it's gonna be very exciting. I mean, you haven't liked anything you've seen with Joseph Quinn in it though. So
What else was he in?
Quiet Place Day One.
That was him?
Yes,
Yeah. The movie's terrible.
it's not. You're
I
wrong.
hate that movie.
Go watch our episode on that because I think we talked about that one for a while.
Actually, you can't watch it. You can just listen to it.
Go listen to it. It is what it is. But yeah, go listen to that episode because we talked about that and our disagreements and what worked for me and did not work for you.
The movie didn't work for me. That's what didn't work.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I really liked the Tim Story Fantastic Four films from back in the day.
Yeah.
Which I watched them recently. They're not great, but they're fun.
Do we have any information on this at all other than like who is directing this at this point?
Matt Shankman, I think is his name.
Oh, the guy who did
WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have they heard any villain information yet either? I don't know.
I don't believe there's been villain information. I think it's Galactus, but I'm not sure.
To be honest, I don't need information. Like,
You told me it's Fantastic Four?
yeah, that's all I needed to hear. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
What else we got?
In August, Peacemaker Season 2.
Oh, yeah. Very excited. Yeah, I love the first season. The first season's really fun. John Cena is great as Peacemaker, and the ensemble he built around him just make it even funnier. So I'm excited to see what they do and how they're going to retcon the Justice League showing up at the end of Season 1. Spoiler alert.
I see.
I say they showed up. They literally were like in silhouette, but it's neither here nor there.
It's time travel.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But apparently they are going to, that's not going to be canon anymore from what James Gunn has said. So,
I mean, they could just do like it's almost like an anthology where we're getting a different universe Peacemaker.
no, he said that it was in the universe. He said everything that happened in Peacemaker did happen other than the Justice League.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'll figure a workaround.
We'll figure it out. Figure it out.
James Gunn's very good at what he does, so I'm not too concerned.
This does not have a release date, but it is coming out next year. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. I did not realize there was already a second season.
I haven't watched any of it, but I've heard good things.
Strange New Worlds is probably the best of the Star Trek shows that have been on Paramount Plus. The Picard show has some iffy writing, specifically in the second season, and Discovery is kind of like loaded to get into because of how serialized it is. If you don't start at the beginning, it's very confusing much later on.
So interesting with Discovery. The day that it dropped, I remember because I watched it the first day, the first episode.
Did you watch it on the CBS broadcast?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I watched it on the CBS broadcast, and I was like, that was fun. And then I never went back to the show.
Yeah, I've watched the first 3 seasons. It's a good show.
Okay.
But the best season is season 2 because that's when Ensign Mount comes on as Captain Pike, and his spinoff to me is better. I think Ethan Peck is the name of the actor that plays Spock. He is so much better than Zachary Quinto at like the mannerisms of Spock. And that show captures the feeling of Star Trek because it's episodic again. It's very much so Monster of the Week or whatever. Yeah. And there are some minor serializations, but not for the main plot. So I really prefer that one to Disco. But Disco is fun, and it's actually finished. Picard, Disco, and whatever the other one was. And there's a new show coming out called Starfleet Academy at some point this year, but I don't know much about that one.
Okay.
So, but it's just interesting that all the Paramount Plus shows have wrapped. Yeah. Because at one point there was like 5 of them in production at the same time.
That's wild.
Yeah. And that's everything between now and August. Wow. Really, there's like kind of a gap because Avatar is coming out, Avatar 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then I guess I should ask your opinion. Avengers Doomsday. That's in 2026.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I don't really know what we're doing.
I think that I know that for the general populace, the Russos returning is a good thing, but I'm not entirely sold on that.
What they've done with Marvel has been good.
Yeah. I mean, everything that they've done except for like the most recent 2 or 3 things has been pretty good. But I don't know. I just wonder if they'll be able to recap. I don't think that the magic of those films was really them capturing it. It was more of like the collective. Yeah. And so I don't know if the bubble will be back for them to like go big like they did.
Yeah, and I'm also, I think to be wary of RDJ returning is a fair reaction to have. But I'm also excited to see what they do because I think, Dr. Doom's a very interesting character that I don't feel like has really been done right yet. So, I mean, RDJ's a good actor, and they've proven they can make a Marvel film and make it good. So, I don't know. Let's see what they do.
Fair. Well, that's all I got for you. So I think we can go ahead and move into what we've been watching.
Okay, before we do that, actually, I want to say something.
Okay.
So, I love when people get excited about stuff coming out into theaters, right? It makes me excited when people go and make it a thing, right? So, like Wicked's come out this week. If you're going to Wicked, please enjoy the movie, be in the atmosphere. But please don't record the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this week, but people had started threads on Twitter of them recording the movie and posting it on Twitter. Number one, that's not legal.
No, that's actually a crime.
It's a crime.
Yeah.
Number one. But number two, you're distracting someone else who is there to enjoy the movie because you wanted to take a picture of the screen or record the screen. I think, I'm a big proponent of theater etiquette, and that drives me insane. And I'm looking at you.
Okay, I don't record the screen.
You don't record the screen, but
I have my phone at lowest possible brightness, and I bend down and I check messages from people because I have friends.
Okay. Yeah, well.
And I don't know. The last time I watched a movie fully engrossed without being on my phone was Oppenheimer. Yeah. I turned my phone off.
For me, I mostly don't look at my phone.
If I don't turn my phone off, I'm gonna check it when I get a buzz.
But regardless, don't record it because it is problematic.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a big difference between checking your messages.
I agree.
And recording the movie.
1,000%.
I also don't have an issue if a title card is popping up and you want to get no. At the end of the movie.
At the very end.
Right.
At the very end, yeah, that's fine. But when the house lights go down, I don't, in my opinion, and everybody's different, I think it's to look at your phone, just to hit one of these real quick, that's fine.
Yeah.
But to fully pull out your phone, the house lights are down, it's dark in there, you're pulling out your phone and holding it up to take a picture of the screen, to me, that's a no-go.
I think that the only time that I'm it's okay, and I'm going to disagree with him here, is if you're watching a Star Wars movie.
I hated that when that happened. I was like, this is the most annoying thing ever.
Just to take it, all I did was I took a picture of the Lucasfilm logo.
Not enough. That's too much.
That's it.
That's too much. I want to be in the moment. I don't need to take a picture of it to remember being in the moment. Like, I remember my feelings seeing the Lucasfilm thing pop up. I don't need to take a picture of that.
Yeah, but
it's
cool. It's a cool logo.
It's a cool logo. I can get it online. Like, I don't need to do it in the theater.
But snap streaks.
That's even dumber. That's even dumber reason to do it. But again, I'm very passionate.
I'm just playing devil's advocate right now.
I am very passionate about theater etiquette, and I feel like we have completely lost the plot when it comes to that. Which, shout out to Alamo Drafthouse, because they get it. But most of the theaters do not care.
What do they do that's different?
Well, they are very serious about the no phones thing.
Okay.
They will, if somebody like puts a note out there that says you're on your phone, they'll come and tell you once, and if you go back in there twice, you're gone. And they don't play around with that. Like, there's no talking in there, and there's no phone use, because they will kick you out.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I mean, I kind of grew up around performances with my sister and whatnot, so I think that, like, performance etiquette, very big deal. I feel guilty to pull my phone out, and that's kind of why I have it the way that I do, like, you know. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think that, like, it's rude people talk. I don't talk loudly usually, but...
No, I think that to me, it's like sometimes... We are very different theater goers, which is weird that we go see so many movies together because, again, we are the opposite.
Yeah.
I am not a person to, like, try to make quips during the movie, especially if I'm engaged with it. He very much is, which is, like, fine. It is what it is. Most of the time I just kind of keep watching, ignore him.
Yeah.
But,
when I used to go alone, I'd make those quips to myself.
oh, Lord.
I'd write them down and be like, okay, this is going to cook.
Anyway, that's my rant on theater etiquette. I just be mindful of people around you. It's the big thing. Like, if you're going to be on your phone, do it in the most, like, the best way to avoid distracting your neighbor.
Right. No, that's valid.
Which, again, your phone doesn't generally bother me.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm like, this guy.
Look, I think it was during Napoleon, I completely disengaged and started playing the Wordle.
Yeah. Well, that, or you had this for like a while there. You were like playing the ball game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just like start playing it. And I'm like, oh my word.
If you saw the ball game, you knew I was out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
Which, that's not saying I'm not watching the movie. I'm just like, the movie is not hitting it, But anyways, what have you been watching?
Let's see. What was the last thing? Okay. So I watched Gladiator II again, obviously. I watched Titan, the French body horror film from 2021. I hadn't seen it since the theater. And it still holds up. It's so good. I rewatched Normal People, again. Then I watched Aaron Brockovich and Insomnia, the Christopher Nolan film. It's fine.
Insomnia is like my least favorite Nolan, but it's still a good movie.
It meanders so much.
Robin Williams is great though.
Yeah, I mean, him and Al Pacino are both doing some wild stuff in there. But yeah, it was the first time I'd seen it in a couple of years. So
to me, that movie is iconic for the bits where Pacino has he's like talking on the phone. He's just like chewing on bubble gum. He's like,
yeah,
all right, I'm sorry about what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but it's fine. Definitely not my favorite Nolan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've seen.
So I've only watched two things, and that was Gladiator II, and then at the Cucalores Film Festival, I had the chance to see Operation Taco Gary's, which is, I don't know how else to describe it other than comedy is so back. It is so back.
Oh, Lord. Why do I feel like I'm going to hate this?
I don't know if you'd hate it or love it. That's the thing. It's not in your wheelhouse, but it's not quite as dumb as a lot of the stuff I like. So this movie stars Simon Rex of Red Rocket fame.
Yeah.
Dustin Milligan, also known for, is it Hot Frosty?
Oh.
The new Netflix thing?
Oh, the new Netflix movie, yeah.
Brenda Song from Disney Channel back in the day.
Yeah, shout out.
And then Jason Biggs. I forget what he was on.
Oh, wait. I also watched The Social Network. I didn't mention that. Sorry.
You watched The Social Network, huh?
Love The Social Network.
Brenda Song is also in that.
Yes, that's what made me think about it. I was like, wait a minute, I just watched something with her in it. But
So, anyways, Jason Biggs plays himself. This is a film that premiered at the Austin Film Festival when I was there, and I missed it. And so when I saw it was playing at Cucalores, which I think this is only the second time it's ever screened, I was like, I have to go. And so I made it. This movie is something else.
Yeah.
The plot is that this guy is about to leave for a new job in Canada, like move to Canada, and his conspiracy theorist brother shows up and abducts him and is like, we have to escape from the cabal. And the neutral ground is this like taco restaurant called Taco Gary's. And so every time they think they're being chased by the cabal, they end up back at the taco restaurant.
That's wild.
That's
crazy.
It's so dumb,
Yeah.
but it's really funny.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see when it gets a release, see how I feel about it.
I think I gave it a very high rating. I think I gave it 5 stars, but that's also like, it is literally like a movie that I would enjoy. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved it.
Fair enough.
And talking to some people afterwards, it's like, apparently I'm in a minority on this one.
Yeah, when I saw the 5 stars, that's like, something tells me this is not a 5-star movie.
But here's the thing. It's an indie film.
Yeah.
All the way through. Like, it is, there's a lot of really, it's kind of kooky looking, like rear projection driving scenes, but it's also a screwball, like comedy. Like, I don't care.
Sure.
So, yeah, I really like that one. If you have a chance to see it, I think it's going to be on the festival circuit for a while, and they mentioned it'll be distributed next year, so.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have a chance to check out Taco Gary. There's not even a trailer for this movie. That's how elusive it is.
Interesting.
But I think the trailer would give away slightly too much. And also Doug Jones is in it.
Really?
Yeah. Doug Jones from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four.
Shape of Water.
Yeah, that's that. He plays the alien.
Yeah.
Anyways. Spoiler.
That's not really a spoiler, but.
Yeah. Well, it's not. He's on the poster. Anyways, that's all I got. I don't got any more.
Me neither.
Well, thank you all for listening. As always, you can find us on social media at TIWWWMPod. That is TikTok, Twitter, Threads, and Instagram.